The U.S. giant halibut fishery is an important part of the seafood industry, especially in Alaska and the Pacific Northwest. Giant halibut in the U.S. are caught primarily by longline fishing, a sustainable method that allows vessels to place long hooks, often extending many kilometers, on the seabed where the halibut live. This is a closely regulated industry by the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA. To protect the stock and prevent overfishing, fishermen must adhere to strict regulations on fishing hours and catch quotas to ensure that the halibut continues to thrive. Giant halibut is not only highly nutritious but also very popular in the world market. This product is widely consumed in high-end restaurants and is also exported to many countries, contributing greatly to the U.S. seafood economy. Halibut fishing in the United States, especially in Alaska, is a prominent activity in the fishing industry due to its high economic value and high market demand. Fishermen mainly use longline fishing to catch this fish, because they live in deep water and the seabed, usually at depths of 200 to 1.50 feet. Longline fishing is an effective technique in which fishing boats drop long lines with hundreds to thousands of baited hooks. These hooks are specially designed to attract giant halibut without harming the ecosystem. Each boat usually has an automatic system for dropping and retrieving lines, reducing labor and increasing efficiency. Fishing for giant halibut in the United States, especially in Alaska, is usually done using long lines or hand lines. Here are some popular methods. Hand lines. Hand lines are a popular method because they are simple and do not require complicated equipment. This method is suitable for recreational fishing. Equipment: a strong rod, heavy-duty line, and a shock absorber for deep water fishing. Bait: live bait such as herring, sardines, or octopus, as the scent of live bait will attract halibut from a distance. Fishing location: halibut are usually found on the seafloor, from shallow to deep water, usually 30 to 200 meters. Sand or muddy seabeds are ideal. Longline fishing. This method is often used by commercial fishing vessels to catch large quantities of flounder. Equipment: a long line with hundreds to thousands of small hooks tied to the branches of the line. Bait: similar to pole fishing. Live bait such as herring or octopus is often used for the hooks. Drop line technique: drop the long line to the seabed and anchor in areas with a lot of flounder. After a few hours or overnight, the hook is pulled up to harvest the fish. Advantages: can catch large numbers of fish in one catch and can be cast at great depths where giant flounder often live. Using bottom trawls. This method is mainly used for large-scale fishing, with vessels equipped with bottom trawls. Equipment: bottom trawls have heavy frames that drag along the seabed, keeping the flounder from escaping. Fishing area: usually trawling over sandy or muddy bottoms where flounder live. Disadvantages: this method affects the seabed environment, because the trawl runs close to the bottom, which can damage the seabed ecosystem. Ideal time and conditions. Season: the flounder fishing season in the US lasts from May to September, when the fish move into shallow waters to feed and spawn. Weather and currents: flounder are often active on days with light currents, so choosing a fishing day with stable weather conditions and suitable currents will increase the chance of success. Safety: because giant flounder are large in size and strong, when hauling the fish onto the boat, the angler must be careful to avoid accidents. Some fishermen use special tools such as gaffs or nooses to hold and control the fish safely. Assistive equipment, using a reel or hydraulic puller on larger vessels, will make it easier to pull fish from great depths. This is especially important when fishing in waters as deep as 150 to 200 meters. Choosing the right hook size. The right hook size is an important factor. As giant flounder have large, strong mouths, large hooks, made from strong materials, will increase the ability to hold fish when they bite. Bait to attract fish. Flounder are very sensitive to the smell of live bait. So using fresh fish bait such as herring, squid, or octopus is ideal. Some people also add fish oil to the bait to enhance the scent. Using sonar and fish finders. Sonar equipment helps determine the depth and location of fish schools on the seabed. Helping fishermen save time searching. Slow dropping technique. In order not to scare the fish, many fishermen slowly lower the long hook to the bottom. This action also keeps the bait closer to the seabed, where flounder often hide. Watch the currents and tides. Flounder are often active when there is a gentle current. The high and low tides are ideal times for flounder to feed. So choosing to fish during these times can help increase your chances of landing a big fish. In the US, giant flounder fishing is subject to strict regulations to ensure the sustainability of the fish, including quotas and fishing seasons. These regulations are designed to prevent overfishing and protect the marine environment. Flounder quotas. The US government often limits the number of flounder that can be caught each season. This helps protect flounder populations from being depleted. Minimum size. To ensure flounder have a chance to reproduce, minimum size regulations are in place. Fish that are smaller than the specified size are released back into the sea. Checking your gear. Fishermen need to ensure that their gear is regularly checked and maintained to avoid unnecessary damage to fish and the environment. Fishing for giant flounder is an exciting activity and can bring high income to fishermen. However, following the regulations and applying appropriate fishing techniques not only improves fishing efficiency but also contributes to the protection and maintenance of sustainable marine resources. In the United States, especially in Alaska, there are many famous places for fishing for giant flounder. Here are some ideal spots that many fishermen. Homer, Alaska, known as the flounder capital of the world. Homer is a popular flounder fishing destination, especially in the summer when flounder migrate into shallower waters. Fishing trips from Homer typically last 1 to 3 days and can include multiple fishermen. Seward, Alaska. Seward is one of the major fishing ports in Alaska and is a popular destination for fishermen looking for giant flounder. The waters around Seward are deep and provide a rich environment for flounder to thrive. Kodiak Island, Alaska. This large island off the coast of Alaska is known for its large flounder population. The water is clear and rich, attracting large numbers of giant flounder. Kodiak Island often attracts professional fishermen looking for big fish. Giant halibut fishing is not just about casting a line and waiting for the fish to bite, but also requires fishermen to face many challenges. Severe weather conditions. Alaska is famous for its cold weather and strong winds. Especially at the beginning and end of the fishing season, fishermen must prepare carefully and monitor the weather regularly to ensure safety. Power of halibut, giant halibut, especially those weighing hundreds of kilograms, are very strong and difficult to control when hooked. When hauling the fish onto the boat, ensuring the safety of the fishermen as well as avoiding injury to the fish is essential. High cost. Giant halibut fishing requires a lot of equipment and sometimes a professional team, leading to high costs for each trip. In addition, the cost of fuel, equipment, and fishing licenses are also factors to consider. Fishing at the right depth. Flounder are usually found at depths of 30 to 200 meters. but fishermen should be flexible in choosing depths depending on the season and location. Patience and flexibility. Flounder can move and search for bait from a distance. So sometimes it is necessary to wait patiently or try changing locations if results are not coming. Cooperate with local fishermen. Experienced fishermen often know the ideal locations and times to fish. Learning from them will help you gain practical knowledge and useful tips when fishing for giant flounder. Fishing for giant flounder is a memorable and challenging experience that requires skill, patience, and an understanding of techniques and the marine environment. By being well prepared and following conservation regulations, you can enjoy a fun and sustainable fishing experience. Giant halibut fishing is strictly regulated by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA. Fishing vessels must be licensed, and NOAA sets annual catch quotas to ensure that the halibut industry is sustainable and avoids overfishing. Fishing periods are typically limited to a specific time of year, and there are size limits to ensure that only large enough fish are caught. After being caught, giant halibut are often processed and frozen on board to ensure product quality. Serving the domestic and export markets. Many high-end restaurants and international markets favor Alaskan giant halibut because of their meat quality and unique flavor. In addition, giant halibut fishing in the US also requires high skills and patience. The crew must be experienced in operating the boat and handling complex fishing gear, especially in the harsh weather conditions of Alaskan waters. These waters often have large waves and low temperatures, so giant flounder fishing boats must be equipped with modern equipment to ensure safety. When the boat arrives at the fishing location, the fisherman will drop a long line prepared with baited hooks to the seabed, then wait for several hours to several days before retrieving the line. Each hook will attack a giant flounder, and when retrieving the line, the fisherman must check each hook to handle the fish safely, avoiding damaging the quality of the fish. Some modern boats also use an automatic pulling system to help retrieve the line quickly, increasing efficiency and saving time. Because giant flounder are large in weight, some can weigh hundreds of pounds. Pulling the fish onto the boat requires support equipment and proper handling techniques to avoid injury to the fisherman. After catching the fish on board, fishermen will usually gut the fish, process it, and freeze it immediately to maintain its freshness. The halibut is kept in cold storage on board until the ship arrives at port and the fish are transported to processing or packaging plants to serve the market. The giant halibut industry in the US not only creates jobs for fishermen and supporting industries, but also contributes greatly to the economy of coastal states such as Alaska. Alaskan halibut has a strong brand in the international market and is very popular, helping to maintain the value of this industry. Sustainable fishing not only ensures long-term halibut resources but also contributes to the protection of the marine ecosystem in the region. In addition, the giant halibut industry in the US is also associated with the responsibility of conservation and sustainable development. The U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, and the International Halibut Commission, IPHC, work together to manage the Pacific halibut stock. These organizations closely monitor flounder numbers, set annual catch quotas, and adjust them to changes in fish populations to prevent stock decline. To ensure ecological safety, every fisherman must adhere to quotas and minimum fish sizes when catching fish. Vessels that violate quotas or conservation regulations can be subject to heavy fines. Other sustainability initiatives include the Tag and Release program, in which flounder are tagged with a tag. Giant flounder are not only a food source, but also attract tourists to Alaska for sport fishing. Sport flounder fishing is a popular recreational activity, generating significant revenue for local areas. Tourists from all over the world come here to experience the thrill of catching giant flounder. Tour companies provide guided fishing services, while complying with regulations on quotas and fish sizes to ensure sustainable development. Products from Alaska giant flounder are widely distributed domestically and exported to many countries, especially in the Japanese, European and American markets. This fish is highly valued due to its soft, sweet and nutritious meat, and is considered a high-class ingredient in cuisine. Famous restaurants favor flounder to prepare many unique dishes such as grilled fish, sashimi, and steamed dishes. In short, the giant flounder fishing industry in the US, especially in Alaska, is a typical example of sustainable management, balancing economic exploitation and protection of marine resources. Strict regulations along with conservation awareness from the fishing community and the government have helped the industry maintain long-term development, contributing positively to the economy and the ocean ecosystem. The giant halibut fishing industry in the US has also developed modern technology and infrastructure to meet the requirements of output and product quality. Modern fishing vessels are equipped with onboard cold storage systems, helping the halibut to stay fresh from the time of catching until it reaches the port. Large vessels also have preliminary processing and packaging compartments where the fish are cleaned, gutted, and immediately frozen to maintain quality. This process not only helps ensure hygiene standards but also increases the value of the product when exported internationally. In addition, GPS and sonar tracking technology are also widely used to locate concentrated fish areas. Optimizing fishing time and costs. This is important because giant flounder are deep water fish and can migrate seasonally. With sonar, fishermen can accurately determine depth and seabed topography and navigate to the appropriate location, saving time and fuel. To improve sustainability, organizations such as the Pacific Fisheries Stewardship Council and IPHC regularly organize training sessions, workshops, and certifications for fishermen to raise awareness of sustainable fishing regulations and techniques. These training programs help fishermen gain knowledge about marine resource conservation and identify non-target fish so that they can be released back into the sea immediately. Notably, this industry not only brings economic benefits to the United States, but also creates many job opportunities in supporting industries such as fish processing, transportation, and export. Seafood companies and processing plants in Alaska and other coastal states employ thousands of workers during the fishing season. This helps develop local economies and contributes to the national economy. To maintain the sustainability and growth of the industry, international cooperation initiatives are also encouraged. For example, the IPHC involves both the United States and Canada to monitor and regulate the catch quota for giant halibut in the shared waters of the two countries. This cooperation ensures that both countries comply with regulations and share responsibility for conserving the halibut resource. Finally, the giant halibut industry in the United States is not only a food source but also a part of the culture and lifestyle of coastal people, especially Alaskans. With sustainable management policies and strict conservation measures, the industry hopes to continue to thrive and maintain giant halibut resources for generations to come.